Before you skip this podcast, you should know that there's a very special astrological configuration happening this week, and that is a Barbault's basket between Neptune and Aries, Uranus and Gemini, Pluto and Aquarius, and Jupiter and Leo, all at 4 degrees. This is major astrology. Really, truly, the astrology at this moment is giving revolution. And when the outer planets move and shift and talk to each other, that conversation goes beyond what's happening in your own personal life and what's happening as a macrocosm of society at large. This is some big astro weather. We should jump right into our forecast for the week. For those of you who don't know me, hello, I'm the Astro Mama. I bring the cosmos down to earth to help ground deep feelers, creatives, and mystics as a certified professional astrologer, board certified psycho-spiritual life coach, and a real life mama. If you resonate with any of the above categories, if you're a deep feeler, if you're sensitive, if you're a mystic, if you're a channeler, if you're creative, and sometimes you struggle planting both feet on the earth, just know that I too do the same. And astrology for me has been a really beautiful grounding tool, and I hope it gets to be for you as well. Like I said, this week we have a huge astrological alignment happening. And it was coined by a French astrologer who accurately predicted COVID, among other major global events, with mundane astrology, which is the type of astrology that we utilize in this forecast. And in 1993, he said in his book called The Future of the World, the New World civilization, whose beginnings appeared around the year 2000, is taking off here in 2026. The entry of the second quarter of a century bears the stamp of the fulfillment of a new age of humanity. He goes on to say the central and harmonious position of the Saturn Neptune conjunction is above all expressive of a promotion of the lower layers of the world population, of a significant increase in the standard of living of the underprivileged, of a victory over the misery earned in unprecedented solidarity. That Saturn Neptune conjunction happened on February 20th at 0 degrees of Aries, according to Barbault. That started this turn of the century, this turn of civilization, which is now being propelled more quickly with the Barbault's basket. And we'll get into what that actually means, what the astrology of that is. It's later on in the week, but you'll be feeling the energy building towards that this week. When Barbault wrote about this alignment, he was really talking about deeply, deeply burdened populations. And I know it's a weird thing to put suffering on a hierarchy. How can you do that? How can you compare a suffering of one person to another person? How can you put, a pyramid up and say, this is the suffering that is actually suffering, and this is the suffering that isn't? I don't know. Nobody knows that. But there are people who are victims of war right now. There are people who are victims of genocide. There are people who are victims of horrendous things. And I hope and I pray that they are lifted out of their suffering with this alignment. But astrology is co-creative, okay? There are transits, but also we are human beings experiencing those transits, and we'll have to see how it plays out based on our own individual and collective actions and the ways that we do or do not utilize this moment available. If you're new here, we're going to take it transit by transit, day by day. I'm going to talk about what's going on in the sky, how you can use it to swim with the cosmic current instead of against in your own life. These are collective readings. If you want a more personalized forecast or more personalized horoscope, you can book a transit reading with me. The link to do so is below. If you take my super short 5-minute quiz, you get 20% off, and it will pair you with the right reading for you. I don't know how long I'm going to do the 20% off thing, so definitely take advantage of it. If you've been wanting to book a reading with an astrologer and maybe it's been out of your price range or maybe certain things have come up, please take advantage of this moment. I would be so happy to work with you. There are timestamps below so you can skip around. I like to watch these forecasts at the beginning of the week, and then I also like to go back day by day and just kind of plan my day accordingly. I also read from my handy dandy laptop. It's just me and my laptop and AstroSeek that and Google Docs, I guess, that create these forecasts. So just remember, you are learning from a human today, not a robot, which does make me imperfect, but I will also put some soul and some flavor into this podcast today. Welcome to Monday, July 13th. Venus in Virgo makes a square to Uranus in Gemini today at 7:26 a.m. Pacific time. The signs which this alignment are taking place in, Virgo and Gemini, they answer to the same ruler, who is Mercury, the planet of communication, short-term travel, neighborhoods, and siblings, currently retrograde in Cancer. You could be feeling some tension between wanting some more independence, but also longing for connection and devotion. If you find yourself feeling restless, I think because of the Gemini energy, Gemini rules the hands. Moving your energy with your hands can be helpful, like cleaning, pottery, painting, knitting, writing. Grounding, surrender, and release are keys for peace today. Welcome to your Cancer new moon today on Tuesday, July 14th. This new moon exacts at 2:43 a.m. Pacific time at 21 degrees of Cancer. It's conjunct Mercury. It makes a square to Saturn, and it also makes a square to Chiron. 21 degrees of Cancer is associated with evaluating and redefining success. I found a quote recently from an author named Maddie Malorta that said, most people think that the more money, luxury, or fame they have, the more successful they are. But I think the true sign of success depends on how many positive emotions they experience each day. Taurus is in the second house are traditionally associated with values, but I also believe that Cancer fourth house themes are very much intertwined with that as well, simply because the fourth house has to do with our ancestral roots. It has to do with our family, our home, our lineage, our heritage. And it just so happens that most of our values are shaped or illuminated to us during childhood. Cancer energy is very devotional and loving and sacred. It's like the divine feminine, the mother archetype. It wants to give, 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 to nourish and to hold, but also is somewhat selective and picky with to whom they are nourishing, to whom they are holding, because they give so much. And they know that with everything they give, there is a sacrifice involved. They can be so sacrificial. The energy of Tuesday, what does it look like to align with? Number one, how do you desire to feel? I have this feeling of I must not be successful because my life isn't interesting. Because I'm not going on trips all the time, and because I don't have a hot six pack, and because I'm not at Tony Robbins every day, my life must be so boring. But then I reflect on every other year of my 20s. I'm 29, and I remember how nuts they were. And I think about how much work I put in to have the peace that I have right now. And then I realized maybe my life isn't so bad. Maybe my life is actually really great. And it's really great because on the days where I'm literally just doing dishes and taking care of my daughter all day, or I'm working in my pajamas, or I'm watching The Real Housewives on my treadmill, or I'm eating ice cream with my dog laying next to me, that is also success too, because I feel good, because I feel calm and safe, because I feel finally free to be a mess, to not be on all the time, to not be perfect. I am successful in my own way. And it's not to say that the people who are out there chasing their dreams are not successful, can be successful too. But I'm in this deep season of my progress moon now being in Capricorn, I guess, and just being boring and it being okay to be boring as well. And that also being successful. So for you, how do you desire to feel? What types of experiences do you feel called to have in life? How do you wish to spend your day in your day-to-day life? And this new moon is conjunct Mercury, so this is a great morning to journal, to write your intentions, or to speak your desires out loud. Maybe in a group of people, a new moon circle, or something like that. And with moon square Saturn and Chiron, take it easy. Listen to your body, rest if you need to, because true healing comes from nourishment with this lunation. Later today, the moon enters Leo at 3:35 p.m. Pacific time. It makes a conjunction to Jupiter, a trine to Neptune, a sextile to Uranus, and an opposition to Pluto, as well as a square to Chiron. It could be possible that your energy picks up a little bit as the day goes on. and into the early evening, you might be called to be in community, especially for some sort of spiritual or creative endeavor. We're going to fast forward to Thursday, July 16th. Tonight is really a great night for a date with your beloved, to attend some sort of healing circle, or to just be in connection with your best friend or a close friend. And that's because the moon enters Virgo at 5:07 p.m. Pacific time. It makes a conjunction to Venus, a square to Uranus, an opposition to the North Node, and a trine to Chiron. This energy is bringing a very loving, healing balm to the cosmos, and that has the potential to support your own relationship with yourself as well as your relationship with another. This could be a lovely evening for bonding with somebody you hold close to your heart, platonically or romantically, and just like allowing yourselves to go deep with one another. The more I live on this earth and psychoanalyze every human I encounter, because it's what I like to do as a Sagittarius moon, the more I realize that we are all literally just like insecure children. And we all want to be loved and cherished and seen. And we all want it to be okay to just be who we are. And I wonder if part of what keeps us from doing that is the constant need to mask. And I'm not talking about just like being kind when you're not feeling kind and that being a mask, but more so the need to hide your quirks, the need to fit in with the crowd, the need to do whatever everybody else is doing or like whatever everybody else is liking, the need to always be happy and joyful, even if you're really struggling inside. And yet, I've found that whenever I connect with another person and I can feel them in that energy, if I just share a little vulnerability about myself, they soften, they relax, they open, because they also too can now do the same. Because I've removed my mask, they can remove theirs. What does it look like to be the one to go first, to remove your mask first? And understand that that creates a healing ripple effect in our world. All right, welcome to Friday, July 17th. Uranus in Gemini makes a trine to Pluto in Aquarius tonight at 9:45 p.m. Pacific time. This is really part of that Barbault's basket alignment we were talking about in the introduction. And there could be some shocking or revolutionary news tonight in our collective, or just a shared feeling that the world as we know it is changing. This could be a very significant day. Astrologers have been talking about this alignment for years. There could be breakthroughs, alchemy, insight. Listen to your gut today. I feel that it's really important for sensitive people to ground at this time. And also, again, trust your gut. If there's a party that wants to just like stay home, doesn't want to be around a lot of people, wants to be in nature, listen to that. But also, I'm not here to instill fear. And I think we all have different roles when it comes to a societal revolution. So if your gut is saying you want to go out and be enjoy and play, or you want to go work and be a part of whatever change is occurring, trust that, trust your gut. But whatever the case is, we are all feeling the undercurrents of change brewing right now. And that tension is building. On Saturday, July 18th, the moon enters Libra at 9:57 p.m. Pacific time, making a sextile to Jupiter, a trine to Uranus, an opposition to Neptune, and a trine to Pluto. It's conversating with those planets in that Barbault's basket. Libra energy creates beauty in the world through one of two ways, or both. The first is the beauty way. This is the artist. These are the people who are refining aesthetics. These are the people who create harmonious relationship dynamics. And also the activist path, which is that of dismantling ugly, oppressive systems, speaking up against injustice and promoting fairness. You could be feeling the current astrology and wondering how you can play a role in making the world a better place. Fairness, equity, and justice could be on your mind today. And I invite you to just sit with that, play with that. And I think that in spiritual spaces, we're really scared to talk about it. I think we have this perception that in order to be an activist, there's this trope that you think that you must be, and there's another box that you feel like you have to fit into in order to care about making our world a better place. And I just am a firm believer that it's so uniquely personal to everyone, and everybody has different skill sets, everybody has different energetic capacity. And what's most important is everyone's attuning to that. Lastly, we are on Sunday, July 19th. We are ending Cancer season today. Mars makes a sextile to Saturn at 11:10 a.m. Pacific time. With whatever internal, external revolution that occurred this week, you could be feeling ready to take action or just at least set a plan in motion. Um, this could be a great day to set goals, to get clear on some concrete action steps or plans. You don't have to wait for the calendar new year or the astrological new year to change your life. You can start right now. You can set New Year's resolutions in July. Who cares? Set three goals for the rest of 2026. Write down three action steps for each goal. Then get out your calendar, split up those action steps between the months, and you'll be so shocked at how much you can truly accomplish between now and 2027. The sun entering Leo next week is definitely going to be able to support you, especially when it goes into conjunction with Jupiter. Now, that's a wrap for your AstroWeather forecast for the week of July 13th to July 19th. I'm sending you all so much love. Let me know in the comments below, did that resonate with you? How are you feeling this Barbelt's basket? And if you want to book a reading with me, the link to do so is below. You can take my Grounded Mystic quiz for 20% off. I'll also include a link to a blog with a photo and some more information on that unique rare astrological transit we talked about today. Swim with the cosmic current this week instead of against it, and just know that you're so loved and supported. Bye.